Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you very much. My name is Deborah Russell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of AAWDC. Welcome to AAWDC's annual Summer Youth Works closing ceremony, celebrating success. Alvin Toffler, who's the writer of the book Future Shock, and Futurish, known for his works discussing modern technologies, including digital revolution and the communication, says, and I quote, "The secret message communicated to most young people today by the society around them is that they are not needed, that the society will run itself quite nicely until they, at some point in the future, will take over the reins." Yet the fact is that society is not running itself nicely because the rest of us need all the energy, brains, imagination, and talent that young people can bring to bear down on our difficulties. For society to attempt to solve its desperate problems without the full participation of every young person is being an imbecile, end quote. In this room tonight, 106 youth are represented who went through an extensive application process and job readiness training to prepare for a 6-week internship where they learned both workplace skills and skills that are required for the occupations they took on. This is our emerging workforce. If you're an intern in this year's program, please stand. This is the group that we need to invest in, for they are our future workforce. They will shape tomorrow's workplace. They will invent innovative ways of working. They will be our corporate CEOs, our teachers, our architects, our doctors, our scientists, and more. These are the people who will shape the world of tomorrow. AAWDC continues to invest in our youth because we recognize the value they bring to the workplace today and tomorrow. A multi-generational workforce is here to stay, and we need to learn from them as they need to learn from us. So this evening when you came in, you found your tables, and we asked each table to discuss what was their first employment experience and what did they learn. We asked that you identify the best example to share with the room. So we're going to start now. We have our lovely Ashley over here, who's going to go to each of the tables and have one example of what the first job was and what the experience was. So Ashley, let's start with table 14.
Hello, I'm Lisa. My first job experience was working for a lady that owned a hat shop. So I worked in the warehouse and learned lots of stuff about hats.
Thank you.
My name is Logan Yearsley. My first job was shoveling horse manure in the stables. So it only goes up from there. And it taught me that sometimes it takes a lot of hard work, but at the end of the day, it's just getting the job done.
Thank you.
Can you share his current position?
Absolutely.
So I'm the Executive Director of the Maryland Ag Fair Board. I fund all the fairs and shows across the state of Maryland for the Maryland Department of Ag.
My first job was babysitting for 50 cents. I learned all about making money.
Let's do a couple more.
Hello, my first job was working in a beauty shop. I had cosmetology in high school, so I was able to work as an apprentice, shampooing, pressing, curling, and all of that. Didn't make much money, but it was fun. And I got to deal with a variety of people.
Excellent, thank you. Ashley.
When I had the job babysitting, I worked for the state troopers.
Let's do a couple across the room that we didn't get a chance to hear from. Let's start with, right there on table 7.
Table 7?
Yes.
Oh! We're gonna come right here. Yes, sir.
Okay, my first job was I worked for a veterinarian cleaning out animal cages. I did it for one summer, just earning enough money to buy back to school. But I learned that people treat animals like people. That's the way the veterinarian treat his animals like people.
That's very true. Okay, one more.
I worked at a amusement park in Wild World, especially in the food service, and I learned teamwork, learned how to work with money, and just have fun. It's a lot of different people to meet.
Thank you. Very impressive, such a diversity of experiences. And some of you have already heard this story, but my first job was the day shift manager at Subway Sub Shop, which many of you see is right around the corner, though I was in the one in College Park. Now, you may ask what I learned, and I'll keep this short, but I'm going to tell you a little story. As the day shift manager of Subway in College Park, I had a lot of college students that would come to the restaurant and use it as a place to study in between classes. One particular gentleman was a criminology major, and on Wednesdays and Thursdays, he had 2 hours between classes, and he would come to Subway for lunch. We got to know each other, and I would always give him an extra in his sandwich, give him free refills on his soda, give him free chips. And his favorite sub was a tuna, so I would stuff it nice and full since he was going to be there for a couple of hours. So fast forward about 10 years later, I had bought a brand new Nissan Maxima, fully loaded, was very excited. And like any other car lover who buys a new car, I decided to take it out for a test drive on the Beltway. So as I'm crossing Virginia doing about 75 miles an hour, I see these flashing lights in my rearview mirror. So I pull over, a little annoyed for being pulled over, but also concerned because if any of you know, the Virginia State Troopers are pretty strict when it comes to speeding. So I'm preparing to, get myself a bonanza ticket for this excessive speeding. And the state trooper gets out of his car, his hat pulled down really low over his eyes. I roll down my window and he says, "License and registration, please." I hand him my documents. He says, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I said, 65? Knowing doggone well that I was going way past 65. He says, "No, ma'am. You were doing an excessive speed of 76 when I clocked you." "Wow," I said. "I just bought this car. I didn't know it went that fast." He says, "Stay in your vehicle, ma'am, while I run your plates and license." So I sat quietly trying to think about how much this ticket was going to be. I don't know, maybe 100, 200, not sure. After all, he used the word excessive speed, so I knew that I was in for a giant ticket. So as I watched the trooper get out of his car, he seemed to have a different demeanor. He seemed to have a smirk on his face. So he bends over and he says, "You wouldn't happen to have worked at Subway Sub Shop in College Park quite a few years ago, would you?" I said, "Yes, how would you know that?" He says, "I'm the guy that used to come into your store. You always hooked me up with the monster tuna sub." And he pushed back his hat and I was like, "Oh my God, that is totally you." He goes, "Yeah, so now back to the issue." He said, "I'm giving you a warning today and consider it my gift to you for how well you treated me all those years ago." He goes, "And Deborah?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Slow your roll." So what's the moral of the story? And what did I learn? You never know who will cross your path in your employment life and who may have an impact in your life in the future. So with that, congratulations to this year's interns. I'm so proud of you and all of your accomplishments. So now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my boss, the President and CEO of AAWDC, Kirkland Murray. I want you to know that Kirk has always been a huge supporter of the Summer Youth Program. He has challenged us to make the youth team stronger and to make the youth program stronger every year with better experience for our youth and increasing the number of businesses that partner with us in providing work and learn opportunities for this summer. This year was no different. So with that, please welcome Kirkland Murray, who is here to give his message.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you very much, Deborah. This is always one of the most interesting and the part of my job I look the most towards every year is to be able to talk to the youth, because as Deborah mentioned, this is our future workforce. But these are individuals who we spend a lot of time with trying to mentor, to help them understand the value of work, and to guide them on their career path. I mean, for those of you all who are business owners in the room, this is your future workforce. So I'm very proud as President and CEO of Anne Arundel Workforce Development to have an opportunity for my staff to work with these youth and kind of mold them to be your future workforce. Before I get further in my remarks, I want to take this opportunity to thank the AAWDC staff that really spent the last couple of months working with these youth. So can the youth staff stand up, please? Kathy, our leader, and the rest of them. I really owe you a great debt of thanks. You did an excellent job, and thank you very much for your commitment to these young people and getting them through this program. I also saw our former youth director, Shannon McGarry, come in. Shannon, where'd you go? Deborah kind of gave me credit for pushing this program to the next level and always challenging it. I was just trying to keep up with Shannon. Shannon always wanted this to be a more successful program, always wanted to make sure we had opportunities for young people, always went out and worked with businesses to have them become partners with us on this. I also want to thank Deborah. Deborah stepped in and really guided this program and made sure that this program was successful, made sure we didn't lose any kids over the summer, because that's always my biggest fear, and to make sure that this was a successful program. So again, I want to thank the AAWDC staff that were involved in this. I also like to recognize our corporate board members and our local board members. If you're a corporate board or local workforce investment board member, if you don't mind standing. And I'd like to thank you all for being here tonight, but all your support and guidance that you give to AAWDC all year long, and your emphasis on making this a great program. And then can the rest of the AAWDC staff that participated is Becky Leonard, our communications director, Jeff Dufresne, our CFO, the person that all the youth had to come to if their paychecks were late. So, so Jeffrey's like, I'm glad this is over. That's why I'm here. So, but no, this year is our largest program ever. 105 youth successfully completed this summer program. It's very interesting as CEO to see our payroll and our number of employees go up to 105 new additional employees for 6 weeks, but it's definitely worth it when you see the youth today, and also you see the parents who are here to celebrate them. Let's give the parents a round of applause. So I think you all deserve a lot for providing the guidance to it and seeing that this is something important for your youth to do. So I really want to thank you all for being here today. So I mean, like I said, this was our largest program yet. 105 youth successfully finished. 33 businesses participated in this youth program. The county exec gave us a challenge to increase the number of businesses last year. We exceeded that. We met that goal, so we're very happy for that. I guess I actually need to back a second. I really needed to bring remarks for County Exec Steve Shue, who's a big supporter of not only AAWDC but this summer youth program. If it wasn't for Mako being in Ocean City, where all the county leadership goes, he would have been here tonight. He's been here every year since he's been in office. So I bring greetings from County Exec Steve Shue for this. But as we talk about our first job, My first job, I did not get, I was a late bloomer. I did not get until I was 18. My parents would not let me work until I finished high school because they said my job then was successfully finishing high school, and when you look at my grades, it was a job to finish high school. But you know, my first job was with Track Auto. I don't know if any of you all remember Track Auto, but it's now Advance Auto. So as an auto repair, like Deborah, I'm a car lover, so I really wanted the opportunity to do something with cars and work in that. And I went into this job. It was a store not too far from me, so I went in there, and I put in an application, and I got a call back, and I got hired as a cashier. So I started off as a cashier. About 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, the manager of the store pulled me back to the parts counter. Said, I want to start you on the parts counter. I want to teach you the parts counter. So I did that, and I started working the parts counter. I really loved it. You know, I knew every alternator for a Dodge and Ford and every other car. I knew the right parts and everything like that, so it was very successful. After about 90 days after being employed there, he came to me one day and said, here. He gave me the keys to the store. I became the night manager, so really closing down the store. And through that experience, I asked him why. I mean, I've only been working for you for about 90 days. Why are you giving this responsibility to me? He said, one, you're the only one that's willing to do it. But two, the fact that you always showed up to work on time. You were always willing to learn something new. You were always willing to come to me and say, hey, what else can I do? That showed initiative. So I really knew that you had the drive that I was looking for someone for this position. That really stuck to me. So that's my message that I want to give to you all tonight, is as young people, always take that extra initiative, because even though you don't think people are watching you, they're always watching you. They're always watching you. So take that extra drive. Show up to work on time. Actually, you know, the rule that people say that if you actually show up on time, you're actually late. So, you know, you should always try to be at work at 5 minutes early. Always ask, what's the next thing I could do? Always be willing to stay late. And, you know, that's the kind of things that will help you move forward in your career. I mean, because this is the beginning of your career. You have a long, successful career. How many young people in here want to one day be a president or CEO of their own company or some type of organization? Don't do it. Don't do it. No, I'm serious. In all seriousness, it is fun to be able to lead an organization when you have dedicated staff that support you and really believe in the mission. But it's hard work. But you know, take that drive. Really look at what you really need to do to get there and to do that. You know, just about every job I've had, I've kind of fallen into it. I hadn't really planned it. I mean, if I had done that, I would have been like Tish. I would have been in the hotel business or been general manager of a hotel or something like that. But, you know, all the jobs that I've had is always built on something. I learned something for that moved me to the next level. I was just telling our keynote speaker at the table that how I got this position. I was actually doing economic development here in the county. And my boss at the time, Bob Hannon, who was president of economic development, was also chairman of the Workforce Development Board. And when this position came available, I said, Bob, I'd like to apply for this position. He said, go for it, but you're not going to get it. He said, you don't have the experience. You never run an organization before. So I said, okay, well, you know, it'd be a good experience at least applying for this position and things like that. So I did my homework. Fortunately, I've been around workforce development enough, and I knew some people, so I went and talked to them and say, hey, what does this really entail? If I wanted to be successful at workforce development, what do I really need to do? So a good friend of mine who was heading up workforce development in Prince George's County, Patricia White, talked to me a lot about that. And I took a lot of things that Patricia told me and used it in my interview. And out of a national search with about 10 other people, I was selected to do this. And, you know, I've enjoyed every day of it. It's always a new challenge, always something new. But, you know, really coming down to a day like today when I see all these young people in the room and knowing that we're making a difference in their life makes it really, really rewarding for me. So I also would like to thank our business partners. I mean, we could not do this without our business partners. Our business partners are there. They are the ones that are willing to take on these young people for the period of time, to guide them, to mentor them, to support them. One particular business partner, which we'll talk a little bit more later about, but Maryland Live, who really stepped up and took young people and really worked with them, helped them get their gambling license, and put them to work. Several of our young people today, the employers, I think I overheard, or I think Deborah or someone told me that here at LaFontaine Blue, we placed a young person here at LaFontaine Blue, and now he's going to be a full-time person when the summer's over. So, I mean, you know, the businesses that come on and willing to take on young people and then bring them on, we really, really need to give them a round of applause and really thank them. Again, we also this would not be possible without our funders. You know, Anne Arundel Workforce Development Corporation is the fiscal entity for the federal workforce dollars in the county, so we leverage those dollars, but those dollars can't get us to where we need to be. So we need organizations like, of course, Anne Arundel County that invests dollars into this program. Governor Larry Hogan put dollars for all 12 workforce investment boards to be able to have a summer program. Anne Arundel County Department of Social Services is one of our funders for their foster care youth. Maryland Department of Rehabilitative Services to put some of their youth in. They are a funder of ours. This year we're very proud that the Community Foundation of Anne Arundel County gave us a grant to work with young people. Again, Maryland Live. Maryland Live is one of the largest employers in the state and here in the county, definitely. And for many of those that do not know, part of the proceeds that they pay go to the local jurisdiction that they're in. And so Anne Arundel County has a local development council that is funded by the proceeds from the casino. And then we apply for a grant from the county for that to also support our program. So that, and then of course, like I said, we use our federal funds, so the U.S. Department of DOL is a big supporter of this. So again, you know, I just want to thank you all again for being here. I want to thank all the young people for coming. I know this is your last day of your employment, so thank you for being a dedicated, committed AAWDC employee for the last 6 weeks. I hope you learned something. I hope you put a little bit of money in your pocket. I hope you save some of that money to go towards your school. If you didn't save any money, talk to Jeff. He'll teach you how to save money. I hope you also, one day you all are standing in a position like this, or you guys are talking to a group of young people and you're talking about your summer experience and you're talking about your experience here at AAWDC and throughout this summer. So again, congratulations to the young people and thank you for everyone for being here tonight. So thank you.
Did everybody enjoy their meal? Good, good. Glad to hear it. So we have some very special youth who are going to talk a little bit about their experience this year as a Summer Youth Works intern. But before we get started with that, we have some remarks that we're going to have from Lisa Lima, who's the director of the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, who's going to talk about her experience with the Summer Youth. So Lisa, please come to me.
Yes, I'm Lisa Lima, and I'm over at the Creighton Highway at the Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club. So it was a really neat experience. When they first came to me, I was like, wow, we get to have teenagers hang out with us, and they get paid, which is awesome because in the past, I worked where we had some teenagers that came in, but they were just volunteers. So once we started talking about it, I was like, well, this is kind of a neat thing. And then the more and more we talked to and then I talked to my supervisor and we set everything up. I was like, this is going to be a good experience. We can teach young people what work ethic is, teach us some things, and hopefully give them a good summer. Now our summer was a busy summer because we had a lot of rambunctious children with us for the summer, so hats off to all the people that hung out in my building and helped me keep the rambunctious children active. And the other thing that me and my co-worker were talking about was that was neat that we had a blend of lots of different personalities on the youth work staff, and they all kind of complemented each other and worked together. We had one young man that was very good at the whole cleaning. There was another young man that was very good with all the children. So it was kind of neat to have lots of different personalities, and it all blended together and worked out well. But thanks to everybody that was part of that team and helped us get through summer camp 2016.
Thank you. We want to thank the Boys and Girls Club because they have been a partner for us for a very long time. I would also be remiss to not also recognize Job Corps, who has also been a great partner of ours. So thank you very much, Job Corps. Absolutely. Thank you. We love you too. Okay, so we're going to move on and have the youth come up. So can I get Saria, Taylor, and Eric to please come to the front? So I don't see the page. So if Supriya, Eric, and Taylor can please come to the front. No. All right. So we're going to start with Supriya.
My name is Supriya Jones. I'm a 14-year-old and I've enjoyed my time working this summer, and I worked at my local library, which is in Wilmington. I've learned so much this summer, and I had a blast. I was able to work with small children, toddlers, and even assist with the science program designated for school age. The staff and my mentor, Ms. Ronnie, was very supportive and made sure that I had a very valuable and great experience at the library. I was very fortunate to be chosen for the Summer Youth Program, and I hope to be part of this program.
Next, we're going to hear from Taylor Arrington.
Able to participate in the Youth Works program and meet so many amazing people. Before starting this program, I was unemployed for the last 9 months since I had my son. And this program has helped me get back to work, starting a career that I love. After having my son, I felt kind of lost and unsure about my education and career path. I always wanted more for myself, but I did not know which direction to take. I now have career goals that will afford me a better lifestyle for myself and my son. My experiences this summer helped me realize that I like working especially with younger children, and I want to become a certified daycare lead teacher. I love having the opportunity to make somewhere where I love to come in every day, where I love to work with the people I work with, and where I don't mind staying late or coming in early. The most impactful part of the program was being able to work with Miss Ty, Miss Erica, Miss Palmer, Miss Ashley, Miss Kathy, Miss Ann, and that's a Miss They're what I aspire to become hopefully one day. Great women who are happy, love what they do, and are successful in their own ways. I feel like I most closely identify with Miss Ty because we have very similar life experiences. She also has a child very young that was unplanned, but now she has a lovely husband, family, and very successful in her career, and is just happy. Seeing her accomplishments inspires me and shows me what I can do, and will do the same. They are my teachers, mentors, and leaders, and role models. Thank you for having me in this program.
I also want to mention the fact that out of all of the youth that we have, about a quarter, is that correct, Kathy? About a quarter of them are going to get full-time jobs as a result of being in the program. I think this is one of our largest hires to date, so we're very proud of it. Finally, Kathy, I want to, before I introduce Eric, I just want to talk about the experience that Eric had. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but he had an opportunity of a lifetime this summer to actually attend an event at the governor's mansion. And it's not an easy thing to do when you're going to be amongst a bunch of grown-ups, a bunch of muckety-mucks, and you don't really know anybody there. To be able to say, yes, I'll step in and do that is amazing. So with that, let me introduce Eric.
This summer, I was a camp counselor at Intermountain County Recs Parks. Beginning of the summer, and it changed my life because I had no plans for myself or my future. The summer youth work program showed me where I was good at and that I could be a very successful. Like I learned about different types of careers, like being a camp counselor or jobs that are fun, where I can work with kids. I had many experiences this summer. Going to the National State is a National Fair and Space Museum, Chesapeake Beach, and a National State. Even though I'm older than I like to my summers, but I have to go to the governor's mansion and governor and all the different and try all the different kinds of new foods like that. My supervisor, Mr. Penny, he was great because he showed me how to work with kids the right way and have fun. Mr. Penny inspired me because he came from our neighborhood and is now living a happily successful life. I plan to follow in his path when I graduate. Now I want to go to Anne Arundel County Community College and the Towson so I can work with kids as a recreation counselor and to be a teacher just like him. This program really changed my life. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Great job. So every year, Kathy, can you bring me that box that's sitting at the table? So every year, AAWDC, during the Summer Youth Works program, spend some time talking about our business partners. As Kirk has said before, if it wasn't for the businesses who are supporting this emerging workforce, we would have a lot of individuals who would never have the kinds of experiences that they have. So I once again want to thank all of the businesses in the room for all of the hard work, dedication, mentoring, being patient, working with us as partners, working with the youth. It's not always easy, but it is hugely rewarding. And this, again, as I said, is our future workforce. So if not the businesses mentoring them, then who would? So thank you once again. But every year, we identify one special business that has gone above and beyond in terms of the work that they've done with the Summer Youth Program. So with that, I'd like to invite Kirk up to provide the award to the business.
For those who know me, or maybe heard me speak before that, I started my career workforce development from economic development, working with business to make sure they have a skilled workforce, upskilling their existing workforce. And for staff and board members, they know that I believe that businesses are our primary customer. Even though we really enjoy events like this and investing in our young people and all of our individuals who are looking for work, but without businesses, we wouldn't have jobs to put them in or prepare them with. So I personally, and I know our Director of Business Services, Jeff Trice, we pride ourselves in going out and working with businesses and understanding what their workforce needs are, be able to connect the right people to them, provide training to individuals so they have the skills that businesses are looking for. There's one business here in Anne Arundel County that has been a very, very strong partnership with us from the day that they started talking about doing business in Anne Arundel County. There was many years when this organization started a rumor about a casino coming to Anne Arundel County, and then going through the whole development process, they engaged in Anne Arundel Workforce Development Corporation. Then making a pledge that they wanted to hire Anne Arundel County residents, not only during the construction phase of their building, but also as permanent jobs. And we worked very closely with them to make sure that they kept that promise, and they did. They hired Anne Arundel County residents. They made it first priority when they were building the casino. They made it a priority for their vendors to hire Anne Arundel County residents. And then as we started getting to the point where they were looking to bring on their permanent employees, we worked very closely to do Anne Arundel County only job fairs with them to make sure that they really wanted to invest in the community. As I mentioned earlier, we received funding from the Video Lottery Fund, and at that event, their president of the Portage Group mentioned some stats about Maryland Live. I guess I let it out when I'm talking about Maryland Live. Read some stats in Maryland Live. First of all, they are the largest taxpayer in the state of Maryland. The largest taxpayer in the state of Maryland. Maryland casinos have brought in over $2 billion into the Maryland revenue stream. 1.2 billion of that has come from Maryland Live. They have over 3,000 employees here in Anne Arundel County. So they have been a strong employer or business partner for AWDC and a stronger contributor back into the community. So it's no surprise that when they came to us, we didn't go to them, they came to us and said, we want to support your summer youth program. Not only will we take on youth, we will work with those youth to make sure that they receive training, to make sure that they pay for them to get their gambling their licenses. They really work with them and mentor them, and them have different opportunities throughout the casino to get that experience. Not only did that, they were a true partner and provide $5,000 to help support our summer youth program. Their vice president for HR serves on our local workforce investment board. So I am proud to give this year's Pathway to the Future Award to Maryland Live. She really wanted to work with our youth, and she's kept that commitment, giving them a great opportunity, and being a strong partner. Thank you very, very much, and thank you to Maryland Live. You want to say a few words?
Thank you, and congratulations again to Maryland Live. We decided this year that we also wanted to recognize what we call our most valuable participants, which would be some of our summer youth who have really gone above and beyond. We asked each of our monitors to identify one individual that they felt really took that extra step, really went above and beyond this year in their internship opportunity. So I'm going to identify each of the monitors, and as I give your bio, please come up, and then I'll turn the mic over to you to nominate and to recognize your intern. So we're going to start with Ashley Devon. Ashley Devon is the monitor for the blue team, so we had different colored teams. And she was the monitor for the blue team this summer. She is passionate and dedicated and an urban educator who worked as a family and community engagement specialist at Baltimore City Public Schools, adjunct professor at Baltimore City Community College, and a workforce development trainer with the Baltimore City's Mayor's Office of Employment and Development. as well as in Baltimore City's empowerment zones. As a former collegiate athlete, she is a sports enthusiast that loves coaching girls AAU basketball, as well as playing and watching all sports. So, Ashley?
Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing tonight? Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so very thankful I had an opportunity to work with this program. And I really want to just say that I am just so very thankful that I got to have the Bluetooth. I had the most amazing young adults out there, and this was a very difficult choice. But I want to recognize Sade Sims. If you could come on up. As she walks to the front, I just want to say a little bit about Sade. And I also want to remind everyone, I just had a phenomenal group, but I just want to spend a moment talking about Sade. Sade was selected as the Blue Team MVP because of all of the hard work that she did this summer. From the day that she came on in orientation, she fully committed. She put forth effort in every single training and every single day that she had to report to work. I don't believe that I know things happen for several different reasons and people have to miss work. She did not miss a day of work, and I just really saw her mature as a young lady and make some amazing friends. And so I just want to celebrate Sade and present her with this.
Next we have Amanda Holloway, better known as Mandy. Can Mandy come up this way? So Mandy is the monitor for the Orange team, and she is a full-time family and consumer sciences teacher at Broadneck High School. A proud Hokie and graduate of Virginia Tech, she lives in Annapolis with her 2 sons, who keep her very busy and bring her a lot of joy. So, Mandy.
Thank you all, and I just want to really give my thanks tonight to, first and foremost, to all the parents who were so supportive, constantly engaged and in touch with me this summer, who really helped to make my job easier when it came to working with these wonderful young men and women. So thanks, and my hat off to all of the youth on Team Orange were awesome to work with. It was a wonderful privilege this summer. It's been a true blessing in my life. It's made me realize that working with these kinds, or doing these kinds of things with youth as far as getting them back into the workforce and helping them with different kinds of job skills that can help propel them into the future is something that I'm really passionate about. I do get to teach students obviously every day as a teacher, but this really helped to give me more, it seemed like it was more of a tangible difference, if that makes sense, that I could see every day as far as the difference that I was making in the lives of these kids. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And Team Orange MVP for tonight is Keontae Stewart. I'd like for Keontae to come up. He's taking his time. I think he's a little nervous. It's okay. Okay, Keontae is our MVP because he has been an exemplary intern all summer long. He had the privilege of working at Maryland Hall for the Creative Arts, and he was just very, very well liked there. He always showed up to work on time, did his job, and always had a smile on his face. Every time I walked in, you could really genuinely tell that he loved being there. He loved being a part of what they offer there. They actually, if you all aren't familiar, with the, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous right now, with the center there. They are located in Annapolis, in downtown actually, and they are a center that actually hold different events, like music events. They have different concerts. They also have an actual art gallery in there where different artists can display their work. And this summer they actually had some summer camps that come in. So he was actually working with the smaller children, and they would go in there and paint. They have dance classes as well that they offer. So a lot of creativity, and he fit in very well. So we're very, very proud of him.
Next we have Coach Brown. Coach Brown is the coach and monitor of the Green Team. He is an alumni of Bowie State University and has been teaching special education at Annapolis High School for 22 years. Let me tell you, everywhere you go, someone knows Coach Brown. I had a staff person come running into my office and said, "Oh my God, you hired Coach Brown?" Everywhere you go, everyone knows Coach Brown. So it has been quite a privilege and a pleasure to have you on our team. So, Coach.
Yeah, along with that, my three sons keep me busy, even though they're old now. One is a captain in the Army in Georgia, another one works for Verizon, and the last one thinks he's going to be a CEO of the business. He said they own 20% of the business right now. But I had the joyous occasion to work with the Summer Works program, and it kind of didn't change me because I knew my mission. And my mission was to touch kids' lives. And, you know, as my mother was a teacher, I knew my calling was to touch kids' lives. So that was my pathway to go. And the pathway, the first job I had was Rex and Parks, like Lisa Lima at the Boys and Girls Club. And one young man there was outstanding out there. He took the force and he took the lead in everything he did for the Boys and Girls Club. And he did a marvelous and wonderful job, and I want to call that young man named Mason Owens. Mason Owens was an outstanding young man, and took the lead and everything, and the people, the interns that worked at Boys and Girls Club had a very much good area that they wanted to work in, and it matched up very well. And I just want to thank JobWorks for giving me this opportunity to work with good kids such as Mason Owens. Thank you very much.
Our next monitor is Pranita Farrar. Pranita? Pranita is the monitor for the Yellow Team. And before the summer, she was an English and GED adjunct faculty at AACC. She received a bachelor's in public health and an MED degree at the University of Maryland, College Park. She is also a motivational speaker and uses her platform to advocate for the lupus and disability community. Pranita?
Thank you. Well, this program was really exciting for me. Again, as a teacher of adult education, I'm used to dealing with, mature adults. So this one definitely took me out of my, I don't want to say comfort zone, but out of my norm every day. It was really exciting. I really took genuine interest in all of the youth that were on my team. We had, some deep conversations. Sometimes the phone would ring 11 o'clock at night, 7 in the morning. But I answered every call, and my goal was, just like the rest of us, was to see them through a successful work experience, but also to teach them the foundational skills that they'll need to enter and sustain a long-term career in the workforce. So my MVP of the program is Joseph Broadway. Can you come on up, Joseph? And Joseph actually works here at the LaFontaine Blue. And within 2 weeks of his employment here, Joseph was recognized for his outstanding work ethic. And I would come and visit, and he'd say, "They have me." And I said, "Where are you working?" "Well, they have me in the kitchen, they have me over here, they have me everywhere." And I said, "Joseph, this is something, I'm going to tell you 2 words that you're going to hear over the course of your career that are going to mean everything to you." I said, "That's job security." So he's been cross-trained in multiple departments. He's actually been offered a full-time career in his new tuxedo. He's a favorite around here. We're very proud of him, and we're looking forward to following all of the youth in the program, but especially those who have shown outstanding work ethic and are looking forward to a long and successful career. I think he's planning to go to Howard Community College and looking forward to studying auto mechanics. So we're looking forward to following Joseph and wishing him a successful road on this journey. So Joseph,
and certainly not least, is Ronnie Baines. If I wasn't hearing about Coach Juan, I was hearing about Ronnie, who said, "I can do that, I can buy that, we can support that, we can do that, I can go get her, I can buy that, I can do this, I can do that." I've never heard more I can do's in one summer than this summer. Ronnie has been an absolute gem to work with. I mean, to work with a company that has somebody that says, "You know what, I'm going to take some time off of my current job so that I can join AAWDC and be a monitor to work with these youth who I can also bring into Maryland Live and give them a real career," is something that I wish I had when I was a kid, because nobody had that for me. So I want to thank Ronnie personally for everything that she has done for this summer, and we will be using you next year. So don't go far. So let me give you a little background about Ronnie. She was the monitor for the Red Team, and she's employed full-time as the employment manager at Maryland Live Casino, and holds a professional certification in human resources and talent acquisitions. She completed her Master's of Science, Organizational Management, Human Resources Management, and she's a member of the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Ronnie says that her experience as a site monitor has been both professionally and personally fulfilling. The Summer Youth Works program afforded her an opportunity to mentor young adults, serve her community, make new friends, and reaffirm her passion for service. So Ronnie.
Of serving that magnificent Red Team. If I had to say one thing that this experience has given me, it would be, again, to reaffirm my passion for service. I have a servant's heart. I believe in servant leadership. So when the opportunity was discussed, and I have to share the story, Kathy. Kathy comes in the office and we were talking business about summer opportunities and all the other things that we talk about with the corporation, and somehow I had a moment where I said, "Just stop. I just need to vent for a moment." And that was the beginning of my summer with AAWDC. I am so very happy that you all saw enough in me to say yes to me, so thank you. So while you're thanking me, thank yourselves, because you afforded me an opportunity I may not otherwise have been given. And what I mean is I'm walking away from a program where I have learned or reaffirmed the definition of true humility. And that means a great deal to me. So I don't want to stand here and make this conversation about me, because that's not why I'm here. I joined the program to serve every person who's sitting in this room today. We sit in our careers day after day, and we sit at such high levels sometimes we forget what's happening in our communities. And I always learn through church, make sure that whatever it is you decide to do, you're serving other people, because it is never about you. And when I wake up, I always remember this day is not about me. So because I'm able to say that this opportunity is not about me, I want to tell you who it is truly about. It was very hard for me to make this decision, but on the other side, it wasn't as difficult, because I met this young man, and his name is Jacory Whitley. And I'm going to read what I prepared. Jacory, come on up. I'm going to embarrass you. Up here with me. Come on. I imagine you were wondering why I was asking you so many questions. Jacory, he was probably like, why does she need to know what my dog's name is? Here we go. Jacory is a rising senior at Chesapeake Science Point Public Charter School. He learned about the program through a friend and immediately applied for the program because he had decided that this is where he wanted to be. He was assigned to work on the food services team at Hilton Garden Inn in Hanover. Jacory made a positive impression on that team. He received excellent feedback such as, "He does great work. I am very happy to have him on my team." This is during my first site visit. Jacory exemplified professionalism, dedication, and a positive mental attitude about his work site and during the training sessions. Therefore, it should come as no surprise that Jacory received an offer to join Hilton Garden Inn. What he didn't know is that that decision had been made during his second week of employment. In his spare time, Jacory enjoys playing videos and making music. After graduation next spring, Jacory plans to attend community college for 2 years, then transfer to MIT, that's the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where he plans to study psychiatry and music. Jacory has an amazing spirit, and he is destined for greatness. Congratulations, Jacory Whitley.
You know, we could be here all night because there were way more stories than the ones we were able to highlight. And please know that all of you have been winners by virtue of the fact that you're sitting here and the fact that you made it through all of these weeks, which was not an easy thing to do. I know we put you through a lot of hoops. Although we gave out an award to Maryland Live for their leadership, there were other partners that we worked with that we would be remiss if we don't recognize in this room. So let me start with the Maryland Department of Agriculture. Please come on. I was at a conference minding my own business when I got a phone call from our youth team saying, "Oh my God, we're going to be sending some kid to the governor's mansion. We've got to get them through security. They've got to do a background check. You know, everything is happening very quickly." I said, what in the world is going on? So I got all of this background information. And then when I got home, I was getting text messages that were a play-by-play of what was going on in the governor's mansion. So you heard earlier from Eric and his experience there. So I want to thank Logan, who, as you know, is the executive director of the Department of Agriculture, for really taking on this opportunity for a youth. a once in a lifetime. As adults, we don't have those kinds of opportunities. So Eric got an opportunity of a lifetime that I know is going to be life-changing. The Department of Agriculture has been a fairly new partner for us, but let me tell you, we were so impressed with the level of mentorship and the level of patience and willingness to work with the youth. So we want to thank you for all of the work that you do at the Department of Agriculture. Thank you. Second of all, the second organization that I want to recognize is an organization, an agency that we have worked with for many, many years. But this year we made a special effort to be sure that we were covering at least most of the county. And one part of the county that we haven't always been successful in recruiting youth is down in the Annapolis area. This year, we made a concerted effort to make sure that we had youth that were represented in the Annapolis area. And thanks to the Annapolis Housing Authority, who played a huge role in not only the recruitment, but also the hiring of youth at the Annapolis Housing Authority. And we wanted to recognize them as well. Is there someone here from Annapolis Housing? Mr. Ron Fisher. Please come forward. Again, for all of the work that they've done in both hiring youth, identifying youth. They are a community partner of ours, and we hope to have a long relationship with you. So thank you very much. And finally, and I'm very excited because I have a meeting with them coming up, so I've already been there, and it's an amazing, amazing place. They gave us free space to have our orientations for our youth. We had too many youth to be able to do it in our own facility, so we had to look around and say, where can we go? And this is an amazing facility with amazing, amazing staff that we have to thank for all of the work that they've done, and we got free space to do that, including offices, classrooms, the whole 9 yards. So who's here from the Chesapeake Arts Center? Yeah, I had a feeling that they weren't here. So in their absence, let's please recognize the Chesapeake Arts Center for all of you. Okay. Next up is our keynote speaker, by the name of Joe Ron Johnson. Joe Ron Johnson was born and raised in Annapolis and attended several Anne Arundel public schools, including Germantown Elementary, Bates Middle School, and Annapolis Senior High. Joe Ron received his bachelor's degree at Howard University in Health and Sciences Management, a little shout out going on there, and then went to get his MBA in Management at Bowie State University. In 2002, he began working part-time at Anne Arundel Medical Center and was promoted to full-time after getting his bachelor's degree. Currently, Joe Ron is the Director of Supply Chain Management at Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Campus. There, he's responsible for all supply chain management functions, including supply services and the central store. So this is a gentleman who also walks the talk, because Joe Ron is a trustee at Mount Zion United Methodist Church in Lothian, Maryland, provides tutoring and mentoring for Reginald F. Lewis Museum, volunteers at the Boys and Girls Club in Annapolis, and volunteers as a youth basketball coach for boys 12 and under in Annapolis, and tutors for GED preparation. So talk about somebody who walks the talk. Let's please give a warm applause to Mr. Joe Ron Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm humbled to be here to speak to you all tonight. Everyone hear me?
Look.
So I'm sorry. said, good evening, everyone. I'm honored and humbled to be here to speak to you all this evening. Not too long ago, I sat where you're sitting. As a young lady mentioned, I'm a product of Annapolis, born and raised in Annapolis. I live in Annapolis with my family now. I have a wife and 2 daughters, ages 5 and 4, and listening to the presentations. My daughters went to, this past summer, they went to Maryland Hall for the art program. So, it's a small world with regards to things coming full circle. The young man who's volunteered this summer at Maryland Hall, thank you. I never met you before, but thank you for the time, because you may have taught my daughters, may have worked with my daughters, so thank you. Appreciate that. So, who am I? I am currently, as it was outlined, a director of supply chain management at Johns Hopkins Bayview campus. So, prior to that, I began my career at Anne Arundel Medical Center. Why did I go there? I went there because I wanted to become a physical therapist. I wanted to go to Howard University and study physical therapy. And locally, that was the only program that offered a free PT program. So because of that, I interned at an organization that's no longer in operation. It's called Health South. So I interned there for about 6 years, volunteering, not getting paid anything at all. And I wanted to learn the operation. Time spent there was very valuable. Didn't see it at the time, but I decided it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me because I didn't see myself becoming a physical therapist working in that capacity. However, I did see myself working in the capacity of service to others, helping others. I really enjoyed just interacting and seeing people go from a state of pain and sorrow to joy and being discharged from the hospital, from the rehab, wherever we were. So that really brought a lot of joy to me. With regard to what inspires me, what encourages me on a daily basis is service to others. I'm only 35 years old, but when I was 15 years old, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. As I mentioned, I kind of wanted to go into the medical field. I would always tell my mom I wanted to be a doctor so I could buy her a home and support her. However, things changed along the way. Let me backtrack for a second. When I graduated high school, from Annapolis Senior High School, I was crowned homecoming king. I was most popular in school. I was a pretty good student, but I wasn't humble at all, not at all. I thought I knew everything. I thought that life was going to be easy. I thought life, just come to me naturally. I thought I didn't have to prepare. I thought that I didn't have to study that hard. I was a B student, but I didn't challenge myself, and I just coasted through. Again, didn't challenge myself. When I went to Howard University in 1999, I was humbled. I was humbled because when I was a senior in high school in Annapolis, I was, again, very popular, and weren't many kids like me who thought like me, who acted like me, in the sense of making good grades, but having all the friends, being most popular and all those things. So I was, in my mind, one of one. When I went to Howard, I was one of thousands, from not just the States, but from the islands, from all over the world, Africa, all over the world. So I wasn't a big man on campus anymore. Again, very, very humble, very humble. So while there, I began to refocus, ask myself lots of questions. What's important to me? Where do I want to go? And I can't rely on coasting anymore. So what I decided to do, I just focused on my books, because that's why I was there. First generation, going to college. No one from my family has ever been to college, so I put a lot of pressure on myself. Now I regret not having as much fun because I placed so much pressure on myself, but it did pay off. I interned at Anne Arundel Medical Center. Sorry, I didn't intern. I worked at Anne Arundel Medical Center part-time on weekends throughout my undergraduate career. Just always staying focused. I would come home on weekends, work, go back to school on Monday. I did that throughout my undergraduate tenure. Once I graduated from Howard University, I earned a degree in health sciences, focused on management. I wanted to become an executive in the health system. So immediately after graduating, I went to Bowie State University to pursue my master's degree in business. I wanted to be well-rounded, wanted to challenge myself, and again, being first generation, I wanted to set a standard for my family. I wanted to leave the door open for my children whenever I would have them in the future, as well as my nieces and nephews. So after obtaining my MBA in 2008, I was promoted at Anne Arundel Medical Center. And because I was there since 2002, all the things that I did whatever they asked me to do. Whether it was any and everything. I came to a point where I knew the hospital like the back of my hand. Because I was in every area, every aspect, whether it was dietary, environmental service, anything they asked me to do, I did it. My focus again was serving others and focusing on the patient. I did share that my very extremely close to my family. My grandparents, who passed away not too long ago, were very ill, very ill. So while they were in the hospital, I noticed the care they received, the care they received, and I never forgot that. They were well taken care of. The nurse, even the environmental service staff coming in, acknowledging them, asking how they're doing. They felt appreciated. So all those things just really played a part, and I never forgot that. Even today with my staff, I talk about the patient. And I know, because they tell me, my staff always says, why are you so focused on the patient? We don't have direct patient care. For those of you who don't know, supply chain, someone asked me earlier, supply chain is basically being able to get products, materials from point A to the patient, and everything in between, being able to coordinate that logistically. So that's what supply chain management is. So we're indirect care, we're not direct care for patients. And at the time, years ago, I didn't know what that was. But because I focused on service, because I focused on my work, because I stayed humble, I was able to go into an arena in which no one could, from my family, my parents, they never heard of supply chain. They didn't mentor me, but I placed myself in a position to be mentored by people in the hospital. Another aspect of my background which wasn't highlighted was I worked for a local government at one point and worked there full-time, but worked at Anne Arundel Medical Center part-time. So while working for this local government, it was a very prominent, high-profile position. Me being young, African-American, my name was out there all the time, and for one reason or another, I was let go from that position. And when I was let go from that position, maybe 4 or 5 months prior to being let go from that position, I resigned from Anne Arundel Medical Center because of my family, because of the responsibilities of my family. So when I was let go from that position, a high-profile position, I didn't have anything to fall back on. I applied other places and nothing because I was let go. So again, another humbling experience. Mr. Brown, Mr. Fisher can attest to this. I was working places like Royal Farms, a young man with a master's degree, and people in my community knowing me in one light, again, most popular, prominent, that sort of thing. But being let go from a job and not having any income coming in from my family, I had to figure out what to do. So, opposed to making poor choices, I decided that I would do what's in the best interest of my family and put food on the table. So I could have done many things. I could have called my high school friends who were on the corner selling drugs. I could have done that easily, but I decided not to. I could have went to a local gas station and applied there because I didn't have anything else. That's what I did. I went to Toys R Us, stocking overnight. I went to Royal Farms, working. Didn't have much. It was extremely humbling, believe me, very humbling. There were times in which I would be at the register at Royal Farms, and people would come in and say, what are you doing? What are you buying this place? What are you doing here? And I would just shake my head and say, I just have to do what I have to do what I have to do. So I continue to pray. I continue to work. I continue to wake up every day, brush myself off, go to work. People on my job really didn't know my background. They really didn't know my experience. However, they just knew I was Joe. Joe works with us, that's it. But they would see the reaction of people coming in the store, looking at me, like, why are they acting like that when you speak to them, when they know it's you? And I would just brush it off. I'm just from Annapolis. Everybody knows everybody in Annapolis, that's all. So after a while, I finally networked with loved ones, friends, and family, and I was connected to someone at Johns Hopkins Hospital. And they took one look at my resume and said, what's this guy doing now? Where is he? So I was offered an opportunity to become a manager at Johns Hopkins Hospital, the main campus, for surgical supply chain, focusing on implants. So for example, you need a knee replacement surgery. My team purchased the implant, organized it, and cleaned it, and got it to the patient, and everything in between. I did so well with that role, I was promoted to director of supply chain for my own campus. Again, I never forgot, and I still think about it today, what happened to me, why it happened, and I'm humbled by it. So if you can take anything away from what I'm sharing with you, stay humble, stay focused, build a network, focus on helping others. You help others, you'll get blessings tenfold. Believe me, you will. Where am I going? What do I plan to do? Because of the blessing that have come my way, well, Johns Hopkins, they have an opportunity in which certain employees can go to school for free. So I've decided to go and obtain my PhD in business. And so I plan to become a professor in 5 years, as well as be promoted into the C-suite. So basically the C-suite is CEO, COO of either a local or a regional health system. So just to let you guys know, it may seem easy, it may look easy, it may look as if the grass is greener on the other side, but put your work in, stay focused, listen to your parents, listen to your mentors, because life is too short to experience everything on your own. Another thing I plan to do, a goal of mine is to just focus on teaching my children, I have a nephew who is 14 years old, just as tall as I am, but I know for a fact that he has no clue as far as putting in the work. He just sees all the nice cars, nice homes, all those things. He sees those things. But the work ethic, the focus isn't there. So I hope and pray that you all in here listen, please, to your mentors, listen to your parents, whoever you look up to, positive role models, take their guidance, be smart, and stay focused. I congratulate each and every one of you for sticking with the summer program, for participating, and I hope that someone was able to get something out of this message. So thank you again.
Thank you, Joe Ron. Good message for all of us, not just the youth. So we have some very talented individuals evidently in the room. I unfortunately did not get to come to that orientation where what I was told, quote unquote, magic happened. So we decided that we needed to share this magic, and I personally, selfishly wanted to hear this magic. And so I would like to ask Juan, Coach Juan, please come up. Along with Robert Smith.
must have been cold there in my shadow, to never have sunlight on your face. You were content to let me shine, that's your way. And you always walk a step behind. See, I was the one with all the glory, while you were the one with all the strength. A beautiful face without a name for so long, a beautiful smile to hide the pain. Did you ever know that you're my hero, and everything I would like to be? I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Whoa. It might have appeared to go unnoticed, but I've got it all here in my heart. I want you to know I know the truth. Of course I know it, and I would be nothing without you. Oh yeah. Did you ever know that you're my hero, and everything I would like to be? I can fly higher than an eagle. You are the wind beneath my wings. Did I ever tell you you're my hero? You are the wind beneath my
Wow, that was just fantastic. Thank you so much for that very, very special gift for all of us in this room. So, none of us have had an opportunity to see the youth at work, and we worked with a wonderful photographer who put together an amazing montage of this year's Summer Youth Interns in Action. And so with that, I'm going to ask Kathy to go ahead, or I'm sorry, Sonata to go ahead and play that video for
haters no matter what. I was stressing when I wrote this. Feeling helpless and even hopeless, but never gave up. Stay up and kept focused. Broke, recycling weed, rolling my roaches. That day it was on some joke, but it's hard to see flaws, acknowledge them and know it. Right my wrongs, fix the shit that I noticed. Won't tell people I changed my walk and talk, will show it. You see it's more to the madness. Never no father figure, cause men don't like baggage. Wasn't a savage, picked up on some bad habits. Couldn't stand authority, my mental was like a maverick. Wasn't your average. Fuck me up to this day, I put Jenny Fox and Madden, but now I'm bagging the hood with be happening. Do everything I can for my story not to be tragic. I know it's hard, my brother, feeling like the world don't love ya, just don't give up. I know it's rough, my sister, smile, you never know who took the picture, and don't give up. I know it's hard to get through it, you gotta find the strength to pull through it, and don't give up. Man, I lost everything, only thing kept me going was a hurricane, don't give up. Yeah, I'm product of my environment. Determined to have an early retirement. Tired of working 40, 10 to 6, 9 to 5 in it. The word I hate, you doing what you hate just to survive in it. I want to see the world and be alive in it. Will always have love for the hood, but don't want to die in it. 40 years don't add up, I'm not buying it. Will never know if my dreams will come true if I'm not trying it. So I'm all by faith and not by sight. I work all day and I shine all night. Belong on stage behind that mic. I'm on my way when the time is right. And yo, I never talk down on another man, especially if his features from the motherland. I fall hard to bounce back like a rubber band. I'm like King, I'm dreaming become a better man. I know it's hard, my brother, feeling like the world don't love ya, just don't give up. I know it's rough, my sister, smile, you never know who took the picture, and don't give up. I know it's hard to get through it, you gotta find the strength to pull through it, and don't give up. Man, I lost everything, only thing kept me going was I heard, yo, when I get tired, I gotta keep moving, cause winners will never accept losing. When I get tired, I gotta keep pushing, stay focused, far away from the brokens. When I get tired, at times I wanna give up, some days I'm like, man, what the I get tired, gotta keep moving, cause winners will never accept losing. Yo, success don't just come to you, you gotta get up and find it, feel me? You gotta work hard, gotta let your success be in order. Real rap, in order to succeed, you must first believe. Real rap, Marky Diamond,
Congratulations once again to this year's class. What an amazing way to close an event. And thank you for the wonderful experience, gentlemen, with this singing. I was about to say I would be remiss without thanking the youth team, but my boss took that. I would also be remiss if I didn't thank the parents, but my boss did that too. So, what I do want to say about the youth team is that this was no small feat. It was hours of tireless work, oftentimes working way past working hours, including weekends. And the awesome thing is that it was always done with a smile and a can-do attitude. Nothing was too difficult for them to overcome, and trust me, there were almost daily issues. So I would like to personally thank the youth team of Kathy Nelson, Sonata Arrington, Erica Myers, and Lori Crisafulli for all the hard work that you've done. It was really a pleasure being in the trenches with you all. So thank you. So another summer has passed. Whew. There's a lot to do, trust me. We have a meeting next week to talk about how we can make this bigger and better. Thank you again to all of the business partners here, our funders, our monitors, the AAWDC staff, and most importantly, as Kirk said, the parents who supported the children every step of the way to their success. Thank you again, parents, for the awesome job that you've done with these young folks that are in the room. So thank you for a wonderful evening. Final thoughts. What is one of the most important things that you can do as a citizen? Vote. How many people in this room have their voter registration? How many people do not have their voter registration? Okay. When you walk out this door, you're going to make a left, because we are fortunate to have the NAACP here that has a voter registration table right here ready for you to register to vote, because if you do not vote, then you do not have a voice in this country, okay? So I want to thank you all for being here, and for those of you that do not have your voter registration, please see the gentleman off to the left and make sure that you register to vote. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.